He stood in the exact spot where his father had been butchered. 17 years of war, betrayal, rivers of blood, and now, at 36 years old, Gaius Julius Caesar, Octavianus Augustus, held absolute power over the Roman world. Every senator in this room knew it. Every legion from Britannia to Egypt answered to him. The richest, most powerful empire on earth belonged to one man. But to keep that power, he had to do something no Roman had ever dared. He had to give it all away. This is the story of the greatest political trick ever pulled. The man who murdered the Roman Republic by pretending to save it. March 15th, 44 BC. Imagine you're standing in the Roman Senate. The greatest man in Rome just walked through those doors. Gaius Julius Caesar, conqueror of Gaul, destroyer of Pompey, dictator for life. Within the next 10 minutes, he'll be dead. Stabbed 23 times by men he called friends. Rome celebrates. The tyrant is dead. The Republic is saved. Liberty restored. Cicero gives speeches. The Senate breathes again. They have absolutely no idea what's coming. 300 miles away in Apollonia, Greece, an 18-year-old kid gets the news. His name? Gaius Octavius. Sickly since childhood. Chronic stomach issues. Never commanded an army. Barely known in Rome. Completely forgettable, except for one small detail. Julius Caesar, the man who just got murdered, made him his heir. Named him his son. Left him everything. Why would the most powerful man in Rome leave his entire legacy to a teenager with chronic diarrhea? Because Caesar saw something nobody else did. Now imagine, you're Octavian. Your only protector? Dead. Mark Antony, Rome's greatest living general, Caesar's right hand, controls the legions. The Senate? They just killed your father. You're next. You have no army, no political experience, no allies worth mentioning. Rome's elites are literally placing bets on how fast you'll die. What do? Octavian made 3 moves in his first 3 weeks. Watch how brilliant this is. Move 1. He doesn't hide in Greece. He sails straight into Rome, the murder capital of the world, the place where his father's corpse is still warm. Insane? No. Calculated. Move 2. He doesn't claim political power. He claims something more valuable. Caesar's name. Starts calling himself Gaius Julius Caesar. Caesar's son? The heir. Move 3 and this is genius. He takes Caesar's war chest, millions in gold, and starts paying Caesar's veterans. Immediately. Cash in hand. Think about that. Day 1. Teenage kid. No army, so he buys one. Basically crowdfunded a military through inheritance money. Venture capital for violence. Mark Antony hears about this and laughs. The boy playing dress up. He owes everything to a name. The Senate mocks him. Caesar's little shadow. They're right. And they're about to be destroyed. See, Mark Antony thinks this is about military strength. Legions. Battlefield glory. Traditional Roman power. Octavian knows better. This isn't about who has the bigger army. It's about legitimacy. Who gets to define what Caesar meant? Who owns the story? And these veterans, they loved Caesar. This kid carries his name, pays his debts, honors his promises. To them, he is Caesar by the end of 44 BC. Less than a year after Caesar's death, Octavian controls 2 legions. Antony controls 10. The math doesn't look good, but math isn't what wins in Rome. And then something insane happens. The Senate, terrified of Antony's power, makes Octavian a deal. They give him military command. Make him a senator at 19 years old. Why? Because they think they can control him. Use him against Antony. then dispose of him later. Octavian smiles, accepts. He's already 10 steps ahead. Now, here's what your history teacher probably didn't mention. Octavian? Cold-blooded? When he needed to prove loyalty to Caesar's memory, he hunted down some of Caesar's assassins personally. When enemies stood in his way, gone. The sickly kid turned out to have the instincts of a predator. Within months, Octavian does the unthinkable. He makes peace with Mark Antony, along with a third general, Lepidus. They form the second triumvirate. 3 men sharing power, ruling Rome together. Want to know the first thing they do together? They write a list. November 43 BC. The second triumvirate publishes the Proscriptions, a list of enemies. Over 2,000 names. Senators, generals, wealthy citizens, political rivals. Their crime? Being on the wrong side. Here's how it worked. If your name was on that list, you were dead. Legally, officially, any citizen could kill you. No trial, no appeal. Your property, seized. Sold to fund the triumvirate's armies. Your family, terrified into silence. Rome turned into a hunting ground. Let me tell you about one name on that list. Marcus Tullius Cicero, Rome's greatest orator, philosopher, writer, 63 years old. He'd spoken out against Antony, called him a tyrant, a drunk, bad move. December 7th, 43 BC. Cicero tries to escape to Macedonia. Too late. Antony's soldiers find him on the road. According to historians, Cicero accepted his fate, told his servants to put him down, looked his killers in the eye. They decapitate him, cut off his hands, the hands that wrote speeches against tyranny. Antony had Cicero's head and hands nailed to the rostra in the Forum, the speaker's platform where Cicero had given hundreds of speeches. Antony's wife, Fulvia, allegedly pulled out Cicero's tongue and stabbed it repeatedly with her hairpin. That's what happened to Rome's voice of reason. Now here's the part that should terrify you. Octavian, 19 years old, wasn't some reluctant participant in this. He insisted on certain names being added. People who'd wronged Caesar. People who threatened his claim. The sickly boy turned out to be the coldest of the 3. The Proscriptions killed over 2,000 Romans, but they did something else. They eliminated every single person who could challenge what came next. Think about it like this. Octavian didn't just remove competitors. He restructured the game so only he could win, deleted the old player base, reset the board. October 42 BC. Philippi, Greece. The triumvirate faces Caesar's assassins, Brutus and Cassius. 2 battles. Brutal. Messy. The assassins lose. Brutus falls on his sword. Caesar, you are avenged. Cassius does the same. Rome's liberators? Dead. The republic they tried to save? Already gone. And the 3 men standing over their corpses? About to turn on each other? For a few years it holds. Lepidus controls Africa. Antony controls the East. Octavian controls Italy and the West. But think about the math. 3 men, 1 empire. How long before someone decides they want it all? Mark Antony goes to Egypt to secure grain supplies and manage Rome's eastern provinces. And then he meets her. Cleopatra the 7th, the richest woman in the world. Pharaoh of Egypt, former lover of Julius Caesar. For Antony, she's everything. Power, wealth, passion. A partner who understands empire building. For Rome, she's a foreign threat. Here's where Octavian makes his genius move. He doesn't attack Antony militarily. Not yet. He attacks him politically. Octavian launches the first propaganda war in Western history. And it's brutal. he floods Rome with messaging. Antony's gone native, dressing like an Egyptian, ignoring Roman customs. Cleopatra's a seductress, a foreign witch controlling a Roman general. Antony's abandoning Rome for a foreign queen. He's planning to move the capital to Alexandria. Was any of this true? Doesn't matter. Rome believed it. Think about what Octavian just did. Antony has the larger army, the richer treasury, the more experienced generals. But Octavian controls the story, and in Rome, the story is everything. By 32 BC, Rome's turned against Antony. The Senate, manipulated by Octavian, declares war. Not on Antony, on Cleopatra. Officially, this is Rome versus Egypt. Unofficially, it's a civil war. The final one. 2 fleets prepare. Antony and Cleopatra command 500 ships and 100,000 men. Octavian and his admiral Agrippa, 400 ships, 80,000 men. September 2nd, 31 BC. The coast of Actium, Greece. 2 fleets, 1 world. Winner takes everything. It's dawn. September 2nd, 31 BC. You're on Antony's flagship. Massive quinquereme. 5 banks of oars. War towers on deck. Catapults loaded. Around you, 500 ships. Egyptian gold painted on hulls. This should be unwinnable for Octavian. Antony's ships are bigger, his crew's more experienced. He's fought 100 battles, never lost at sea. But there's a problem. Antony's soldiers are sick. Malaria? Dysentery? The Greek coast is a nightmare for disease. His supplies are running low. And Octavian's admiral, Agrippa, is a tactical genius. The fleets collide. For hours, it's brutal. Bloody, no clear winner. And then, Cleopatra's squadron, 60 ships, breaks through the line. Not retreating. Escaping. Now, historians argue about why. Was it panic? Strategy? Pre-planned? We'll never know. But here's what is clear. Mark Antony, Rome's greatest general, veteran of 100 battles, sees Cleopatra's ship leaving, and he follows her, abandons his fleet, transfers to a smaller, faster ship, chases after Cleopatra, leaves 100,000 men behind. In that single moment, Rome watched its general choose love over loyalty. Within hours, the battle's over, not because Octavian won, because Antony left. His fleet, leaderless, confused, surrenders. His army on shore switches sides within the week. Octavian won the most important battle in Roman history without finishing the fight. August 30 BC. Octavian's legions march into Egypt. Antony and Cleopatra know it's over. Mark Antony, the man who fought beside Caesar, who conquered the East, who could have ruled the world, receives false news that Cleopatra's dead. He falls on his sword, Roman style, honorable, except she's not dead. Servants carry Antony to Cleopatra's mausoleum. She hauls him up to her chamber. He dies in her arms. His last words, allegedly, "I die honorably. I was beaten by a Roman." Cleopatra tries to negotiate with Octavian, once to save her children, her kingdom. Octavian's message is clear. You're coming to Rome in chains as part of my triumph. Imagine that. The richest, most powerful woman in the world, about to be paraded through Rome like a circus animal. For Cleopatra, who'd been Caesar's lover, who'd ruled Egypt for 20 years, death was better. August 12th, 30 BC. Cleopatra puts on her royal regalia. Full pharaoh dress, gold, crowns, lets an asp, a venomous snake, bite her. They found her dead, looking like a queen, not Octavian's prisoner. But Octavian's not done. Cleopatra had 4 children, 3 with Antony, 1 with Julius Caesar, Caesarion. Octavian spares Antony's children, but Caesarion. One of Octavian's advisors allegedly says, 2 Caesars are 1 too many. He was 17 years old, Julius Caesar's only biological son, murdered because Octavian couldn't risk a rival claim to Caesar's legacy. Octavian didn't just defeat his enemies, he erased them. From history's possibility, Rome's civil wars are over. Every rival, dead. Every threat, eliminated. Octavian now controls Rome and Italy, Spain and Gaul, Greece and Macedonia, the entire eastern Mediterranean, Egypt, Rome's breadbasket. He's 32 years old, absolute master of the known world, richer than anyone alive, commands every legion from Britain to Babylon. So, what does he do next? Become king? Crown himself emperor? Rule openly as a dictator? No. He does something far more brilliant. Octavian returns to Rome. Triple triumph. 3 days of parades. Prisoners in chains. Egyptian gold stacked in wagons. All of Rome watching. Paintings of Cleopatra's death carried through streets. Mock naval battles reenacted in flooded forums. Veterans showered with bonuses. The people roaring. And then, nothing. Octavian doesn't declare himself dictator, doesn't dissolve the Senate, doesn't demand a crown. What is he waiting for? Here's what you need to understand. Octavian spent 17 years studying. One lesson. The moment Julius Caesar put on a crown, Rome killed him. Romans would tolerate anything. War, corruption, bloodshed. But not a king. That was the line. So Octavian waits 2 years, consolidating, planning, and then, January 13th, 27 BC, he puts on the greatest performance in political history. Senators, friends. For 17 years, Rome has bled. I have done what was necessary to restore peace, but that work is finished. I hereby return all powers to the Senate and people of Rome. The Republic is restored. I ask only to retire to private life. The Senate panics because they know the truth. If Octavian leaves, civil war restarts immediately. Every general with 2 legions will march on Rome. The bloodshed begins again. So what do? They beg him to stay. After reluctant negotiation, the Senate grants Octavian command of all legions in provinces where rebellion might occur, basically all the legions, control of Egypt, Rome's grain supply, a new title, Augustus, the illustrious one, the revered, but he's not emperor, not king, just princeps. First citizen, he gave up all formal power and received total, actual control. The Republic still existed, on paper. Think about what Augustus just did. He controls every legion, because security, all the money, because Egypt, the grain supply because he manages Egypt, foreign policy because he commands the borders. But technically, he's just a concerned citizen helping out. It's like a CEO saying, I'm resigning. Then, the board makes him senior advisor, with access to everything, final say on all decisions, and everyone still reports to him. But it's totally not a dictatorship. And Rome buys it. Why? Because they're exhausted. 100 years of civil war, political murders, proscriptions, chaos. Augustus offers something Rome hasn't had in generations. Stability, safety, peace. But peace has a cost. The Senate becomes a rubber stamp. Free speech? Gone. Political opposition? Crushed quietly. Elections? Still happen. But candidates need Augustus's approval. The Roman people traded freedom for security. And they did it willingly, gratefully. But ruling an empire extracts a toll. Augustus becomes paranoid, trusts no one, especially not family. His daughter Julia, by all accounts, brilliant, charismatic, but she lived her life publicly, scandalously. Affairs, parties, everything Augustus's regime claimed to stand against. Some historians think she was rebelling, pushing back against her father's control, living freely in a world where freedom was dying. 2 BC. Augustus exiles his own daughter, sends her to a barren island, never sees her again. She dies there. 14 years later, and then there's the heir problem. Augustus has no sons, so he adopts heirs, trains them. They keep dying. Marcellus, nephew, dead at 23. Agrippa, best friend / son-in-law, dead at 51. Gaius and Lucius, grandsons, both dead by their mid-20s. The man who eliminated every rival can't keep his own heirs alive. Finally, he's left with Tiberius, his stepson. Competent general, but grim, humorless. Not who Augustus wanted, but the only option left. Augustus adopts Tiberius as his heir, makes him co-ruler, trains him in the system. History will remember Tiberius as one of Rome's darkest emperors. But that's a story for another time. For 40 years, Augustus rules, transforms Rome from a city into an empire. Builds roads, aqueducts, temples. He famously said, "I found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble." But he also eliminated political opposition, controlled information, created a cult of personality, made it treasonous to criticize him. Sound familiar? The Pax Romana begins. Roman peace. For over 200 years after Augustus, the empire enjoys relative stability. Under Augustus, trade routes from Britain to India, legal reforms that last centuries. Literature flourishes. Virgil writes the Aeneid, Ovid writes Metamorphoses. Population booms. Economy thrives. Rome becomes the greatest superpower Earth has ever seen. But here's what's brilliant. Augustus doesn't just rule Rome. He controls the story of Rome. He builds the Arapacis, altar of peace, covered in carvings showing his family as Rome's divine protectors. He commissions Virgil to write the Aeneid, an epic linking Augustus's family to the gods themselves. Literally claims divine ancestry from Venus. Every coin has his face. Every city has his statue. Every temple reinforces Augustus equals Rome's savior. He doesn't control Rome through fear. He controls it through narrative. Makes himself so essential to Rome's identity that removing him is unthinkable. That's mastery. But here's the cost. Political engagement? Dead. Free thought? Dangerous. The Republic? In any meaningful sense, gone. Romans live better than ever, but they've traded liberty for comfort, choice for certainty, freedom for safety. So, was it worth it? Would you take dictatorship if it meant no war, economic growth, safe streets, food security, but no voice, no vote, no freedom to challenge power? Rome answered yes. August 19th, AD 14. Augustus dies, surrounded by Livia, his wife of 51 years. Tiberius at his side. His alleged last words. "Did I play my part well?" Then he quotes a Greek theatrical phrase. "If I have pleased you, kindly signify appreciation with a warm goodbye." It wasn't a question. He knew the answer. He'd played it perfectly. Within hours, the Senate deifies him, makes him a god. Tiberius becomes emperor. The system Augustus built, it lasts 500 more years. Every emperor after him follows the blueprint. Augustus transformed Rome from a republic of citizens into an empire of subjects. and he did it so smoothly, most Romans never noticed. So, here's the truth. Augustus didn't destroy the Roman Republic. He did something far more effective. He made Romans forget they ever wanted it. He proved that people will trade. Freedom for security, chaos for order, choice for certainty, liberty for stability. And they'll do it willingly, gratefully, while calling their new master a savior. 2,000 years later, we're still watching leaders use his playbook. The titles change. The tactics don't. Control the narrative. Eliminate rivals. Offer safety. Take power slowly. Make it look like a gift. So, was Augustus a hero? He ended a century of civil war, built an empire that brought peace, law, and prosperity to millions, created 200 years of relative stability. Or was he a tyrant? He murdered thousands, destroyed political freedom, created a system where one man's word was law, made dissent treason. The answer? Both. And that's what makes him terrifying. Because the Republic didn't die screaming. It died quietly, willingly, gratefully. While everyone cheered the peace, freedom slipped away. And no one noticed until it was too late. Augustus proved something dark about human nature. Most people don't want freedom. They want safety. They want order. They want someone else to make the hard decisions. And someone is always willing to oblige. Augustus lived 76 years, ruled for 40, changed history forever. And we're still living in the world he created. So what do you think? Savior or tyrant? Hero or villain? Necessary evil or dangerous precedent? Drop your answer in the comments. And here's the dark part. Everything Augustus built? His successor, Tiberius, twisted it into nightmare, turned paranoia into state policy, made Rome's golden age into something far more sinister. Want to see how Augustus's system became a machine for tyranny? Let me know in the comments, because that story, even darker than this one. And if you made it this far, you just spent over 20 minutes watching a 2,000-year-old political thriller. That's the power of history. These aren't just dead Romans. These are patterns, warnings, blueprints, still being used today. Subscribe for more stories that make history feel like the present, because it is.